labels. How do you feel about the word queer, and who do you identify yourself to be?
Ooh, okay. I guess I started. I don't like the word queer, mainly because of how all the connotations that came with it when I grew up. There was just completely like I just don't, thinking about the word, it doesn't sound positive in the slightest. Nor do I even know where it came from or who decided it. So how someone is telling me that I am queer when it means odd and strange is odd and strange.
Is that the meaning of it?
Yeah, it means odd and strange.
It's like the first dictionary definition, yeah. Like, you know, they've got like...
I'm not being ignorant, it's just because I just think it's a white word.
I
only associate it with white gays, and that's why I didn't even know that was the meaning.
The fact that you just said what it means, that just tells me again, it just rides on the fact that I hate that word. Because it's just, what does it word mean?
Odd and strange.
Odd and strange.
Terrible.
Why do we have to mean odd and strange? Why is it something that's supposed to be associated with us? Does it have to be odd and strange? Nah.
You know, it's funny because like when you think about like society and the heteronormative kind of roles and stuff, we are slightly odd, but when you think about like how the system's set up. So initially, when somebody said, "Oh no, LGBT or whatever," people were kind of prejudiced and had their issues about it. Do you know what I mean, or about us, so to speak. So like kind of stuff like pride and whatever else kind of takes away from that odd and strange, so to speak. Do you see what I mean? That celebrating of being different.
I quite like it.
Okay.
I think because it's inclusive. I think there are so many different sexualities, if you like. There's so many different ways of understanding our gender and the way in which we have our different relationships. And I think queer somehow gives space for all of those variance, if you like, and all that diversity to be able to come together. And it means that we don't have to be so fixed as well. You don't have to be just this, you don't have to be just that. And I think for so many of us who might not find ways to, I guess, fully fit and to have our ways expressed in the world, being queer somehow provides that opportunity.
I can appreciate your feelings towards the word.
Yeah.
Now I know the meaning, so if I'm not straight and normal, I'm odd and strange. That's
the thing. So I understand what you're saying in the terms of like it's a term that is inclusive and it is broad, but does it have to be that word?
Yeah, I guess, and again, maybe because of the ways in which we've grown up, maybe we've got particular associations with the word queer. Yeah. And I guess, I know we were speaking earlier about the idea of using this term as a way to reclaim something, just like the N-word, for example. And I know that there's a sense of struggle with that. But in my own life, I guess I'm still negotiating it and renegotiating it for myself. So I'm not quite, but at the same time, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's also empowering for many people as well to be.
You think?
Yes.
Like empowering is a bit strong there.
Like you said about the N-word, I think that word is still so touchy. Yes, people walk around, yeah, my G, my. They will walk around saying it all the time. That's not empowerment, because if somebody from another race turned around and called you that, you're gonna fight. You're gonna want to say something. Yeah. So ultimately, we haven't taken ownership of that word and changed it to mean anything else and owned it ourselves. So I just think the same for the word queer. You know, once upon a time, gay was the meaning of gay is happy. Yeah. Right. I'm happy.
Which is a lot better than queer. Have you
Which is a lot better than, do you understand, when it comes to definitions? So I just think the word queer has got a slight European or white basis on it, and just like the word dyke, it's kind of, I don't really hear people calling black lesbians dykes. No. Do you understand? And I just think.
But is dyke ever used like positively?
No. Again, it's negative
no,
again.
You know what? I think like you said, some cultures do use it as positive. Do you know what I mean? It's just like a friendly term. Like, oh yeah, it was my favourite dyke or whatever. It doesn't sit well with me.
But to me, to say my favourite dyke still says you're one of them, but I like you.
Yeah.
So it's still negative.
Yeah,
it's still,
negative.
you know, I don't like black people, but you're alright. You're one of us.
I hear where you're coming from. I don't know if I 100% agree, because like it does depend on who is talking to you. Do you see what I mean? Like you and I can talk, and there's something I might say to you, a name I might call you that I wouldn't call them. Do you know what I mean? Because
like what?
I can't. It's. But
you
you see what I mean? I love sharing, but like because of our relationship, it's taken in a different way. If someone walking down the street was to call you something offensive, you would automatically bring your guard up, because who are you? Do you know what I mean?
I've never heard that used in a positive way in my life. Like if someone was to say that to you, I would honestly be offended myself, and I'm not a lesbian.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm someone else.
Do you not? Like if someone was like, hey Dyke, like even your friend.
Hey Dyke, that was friendly to me. I nearly gave you a hug. Do you know what I mean?
My eyebrow was still be like, as your friend, I'd be like,
yeah, I've never.
So what was the question?
Bringing it back.
No, not just
you got the drip thing.
No, I guess the reason why I'm asking for a repeat of the question, because I think there was something in there about how is it about.
yeah, how do we identify?
Yeah, how do we identify
Yes,
ourselves?
I was curious that if Dyke doesn't quite rest well with you, what we all have different relationships with these words and these labels, if you like. So I'm curious what sits well with you.
I'm a lesbian.
I'm a lesbian.
I'm a lesbian.
What is it about being a lesbian that you identify with?
For me, it's the female side of the spectrum, with the whole sexuality side, that I like other women, and it's as simple as that. There's no except for this one person and then that person and then and the tree.
That's yours.
Because I love a tree, I want to marry a tree. Right, for me it's I find other women attractive, and that's my preference.
But then you slightly are fortunate in that you can be like, cool, this is
true.
Like loads of people are still kind of assessing and evaluating.
It's a lot more fluid than that for many other people.
But saying the word queer, what does it mean?
But then
what does it mean? How do I know? For you to say I'm queer, how do I know? How do I know?
Why do you need to know? Why does it have to be such this strict, defined, binary characteristic?
Because I don't know what the word queer means to people, because it's not so set in stone. A lesbian, you know what you know. Transsexual, you know. Bisexual, you know. Queer, if that covers everything.
Yeah.
If I'm having a deep conversation with somebody and I'm trying to get to know you and you tell me you're queer, to me you're blocking me, because you've kind of cut me off. You've cut me off in a sense, because you're not opening yourself up enough for me to know.
You cut yourself
off, because actually you're saying that it has to be just as I understand it, otherwise it doesn't exist. And actually it's allowing for more that is perhaps a little bit more unknown, more that's a little bit more uncertain. You don't have to define it as such. So perhaps it could be about you opening up yourself to another to say, well, tell me a little bit more about you, rather than say, well, I don't get that, so therefore it doesn't exist.
Right, so this website, it had all these different sections where bi, gay, lesbian, and then there was queer as another subheading. And through being on this website, I come to find that the people that chose queer were people that were looking for fun and dating everybody and doing everything. And for me, it kind of gave a connotation against the word, like it's a bit slackness. So I think
that passion behind the
There's a space for sex positivity. Why can't? What's wrong with that? Why that seems to almost?
I think it's a race thing.
A race thing.
I think within our community, Caucasian part of the LGBT community and us as blacks, very much different. There's a big difference. They're more diverse, they're more open, they're more free. That's why I think I associate that word with them more.
But there are lots of black people as well.
No, it's not the same.
Let me give a voice to it though, because I think there are lots of black people within our communities who do perhaps are a little bit more exploratory when it comes to sex, and I think it's important to include that. And so many of the people within our communities who are perhaps a little bit more fluid, shall we say, don't get a voice, and are deemed as slack, or they are looked at in these derogatory ways. And I think it's important that within our community that we are positive about those people.
Alright then, so what are the terms then? So we got LGBTQ.
I. Z.
Okay, no. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender.
Intersex, ace.
Is I real?
Bruv, that's
Yeah, I is a real thing. It's a real thing.
Bruv.
It's a real thing.
But these days, look, there's more talk around gender, sexuality and relationship diversity, because that way it can encompass more people rather than always trying to add in another letter, because invariably someone's going to be, a group of people are going to be excluded. And I think so much of, for me at least, it's about giving a space for all of us.
I think
Which is
something
true.
you just said about gender or sexuality, and I think that's the problem. We're crossing over these lines where gender is coming into
Yes.
gender is becoming part of the community rather than it being about your sexuality.
Yes.
I think there's a crossover.
But that's because it's very much bracketed heterosexual and everything else.
Yeah.
So that's why gender and all of the rest of them are going together.
But they're fundamental parts of who we are. So it's like, it's almost like saying, should we leave race out of it? Should we leave ethnicity out of it?
Okay, then,
Should we leave culture out of it? These are all parts of who we are. So it's about trying to include all the parts of us.
So do I include the man that's pansexual that wants to marry a tree?
Absolutely.
No, but
Absolutely.
But he wants to marry a thing.
Okay.
Not
Yeah, but
a person.
Alright, let me take this one. Okay, what we ultimately need to remember, is that me growing up as a gay man, as a gay boy, there were so many people that did not understand me, didn't understand anything I go through, my mindset, my thoughts, anything, and they have their feelings about it. They have horrible feelings about it, and I'm standing there knowing that what I am doing is not wrong. Therefore, I now need to look at other people and things that I don't understand and see it and be like, you know what, I don't understand you, but do your thing.
Do you know,
you're not harming no one, do your thing.
Maybe you don't have to understand everything, you know.
I don't understand it, but I have to respect it, and I can't be like, long for this because I didn't want it.
Okay, but then that leaves the side open for the man that wants to turn around and say, well, I'm a grown-ass man and I'm in love with a 3-year-old.
No, but that's why I said the song should not harm it. No, I said the song should not harm it. The song should not harm it.
He said he's in love. He said he's in love. I never said he was doing anything. I never said he was doing anything. I said he's in love. He is expressing that he's in love with this. And if you don't want to say that is not right, just like somebody saying I'm in love with a freaking tree.
No, bro, but there's another.
And then the next thing you know, the man's gonna try and procreate with a tree.
No, it's like
he's going to try and procreate. I've seen it.
No,
he's going to try and procreate with trees.
Let's not.
I'm curious. I guess I'm curious what it is that makes you so riled within this, because you know you're getting louder and louder and louder with this. Like, what is it about the person who wants to have this love affair with the tree that really seems to like?
You say that?
No, honestly, like what? Because I think
because it's something that I've seen and I found it. I found it strange. I'm allowed to find. You're allowed to find things strange.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I'm gonna, I found it strange. Now, we're finding something. Why does that have? That is something different completely.
Yeah, why does that happen?
Hold on. That's
It's
to me, it's something completely different. I don't see why it falls under the LGBT community when we're dealing with people. When we're dealing with people here.
Who said the tree man was involved in the movement?
No, because that falls under pansexual.
No, but that's not pansexual.
Bruv.
That's not pansexual.
That's just weird.
There's pansexual, there's asexual. What is asexual?
Asexual,
Where
it's
they
a
have
real...
no attraction to
attraction.
anybody.
No attraction to
But isn't
anyone.
asexual a term used for like plants or something like that when they reproduce
Well,
for
people
themselves?
use that now.
But it doesn't mean that like plants are asexual. But
I'm not
they
square
use it for
with
people
this.
because it means that they're not attracted to anyone else. But that they're still a part of sexuality though.
Right.
And what we're talking about is sexuality.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. We're talking about sexual. We're talking about you don't hear. It's like you said. It's like you said. There's heterosexuals, and then everybody else has to be put into one thing. Why is it they've got their section, right? They've got their section. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. But this is one of the reasons maybe why I feel so strongly about it, is because they've got their section.
But I think your energy should go towards that. More so than the annoyance about this bracketing on this side.
And we're accepting what they're putting on us.
No,
we're accepting it. We're into it.
No.
So who are they?
The man.
The man. Do you know what it is? I don't think it's that necessarily the man. For me, I think it's going to sound a lot controversial now. It's heterosexual white do-gooders. They are the ones that tend to come out with, because they feel that they need, no, trust me, they feel that they need to, you can't say that, you've got to say this, we've got to be so politically correct, and sometimes you can go too far. For instance, everybody looks at that. In order to make everybody feel so inclusive, they've broken things up so much to the point where everybody looks at me and says, oh, you're a femme. And when it comes down to it, people say, oh, what do you identify as? I'm a femme. To be honest, I'm probably a no label. Because just as much as I have the hair and the nails, I switch it up and I like to dress a bit boyish too.
Yeah.
But because people assume and look at this and see this, that's what they
It's how you've presented yourself. You can't be upset with people for looking at you how you've presented yourself.
I present myself in different ways. If you saw me on a day-to-day basis,
that's cool then.
on a day-to-day basis, yeah, when I've got my cap on and I've got my jogging bottoms on and I'm rolling throughout the week doing what I'm doing, that is me. When I go out, this is another side of me.
So what we're saying is, on any given day, how you present yourself is how people perceive you. So if you go out in a high heels and a dress, they're gonna be like, oh, she's a stud. If you show up in Tims and jeans, but they're gonna be like, oh, she's a stud. Do you know, like you can't be upset with people for doing that, because that's
I wish I would.
No,
because if I turned up dressed in jogging bottoms and my Tims and did all of that, and they were like, okay, she's a stud, you're taking me for what I am today, for how I've dressed today, because of how I've dressed. Ultimately, that's not the questions that I get thrown at. That's not what gets said to me. Okay. You're a femme. Why are you dressing like that?
But why would you consider yourself a no label?
A no label because I don't necessarily do all of the things that femmes are supposed to do. I don't fit into that category of being over feminine.
What are femmes supposed to do?
I'm not.
No, literally answer the question. What are femmes supposed to do?
Who knows? I don't do it. Who knows?
Well, then you could be at that.
Exactly, that doesn't make no sense.
No, because when people say femme, they automatically assume that I have to wear makeup all of the time, that I'm very girly. I'm not very girly.
My understanding as a gay man of femme is is a lesbian who looks straight. That's the kind of understanding that I see. Am I wrong? But that's just what I see. Like going on the scene, they're the ones that they would call femme. The ones that obviously there are those glamour ones that love on Instagram. There's obviously those kind of femme girls, but the femme girls that I mainly know of or see, they're the ones that look straight.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, because I get shocked. Because they don't. You know when you can go to a club and you can tell when a girl is straight.
But then that's the whole thing. How do you look? That's one thing that happened to me when I first started going to the club.
Exactly.
Girls wouldn't approach me
because they thought you were straight.
They wouldn't approach me and they're telling me, no, you don't look gay enough. You don't look gay enough, and I'm like, well, how do I look gay? What is that? What look is that?
I think we all have that. I mean, look at the group here. We've got four black gay men on the panel. I think we all have slightly different as well.
Yeah.
What does a gay man look like? what does a black gay man look like?
Yeah,
I don't. There are all sorts of ways of being and looking and being interpreted.
So, what do you classify yourself as?
I am a gay man.
And going into labels, would you say you're feminine?
I am both feminine and masculine. Those are both parts of me, and I embrace both. I embrace both.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's how I
do like to embrace both.
Yeah.
Which is why
It's fun. It's fun, absolutely, basically.
But then
it should be
people feel
natural to embrace
uncomfortable.
both, though.
People feel uncomfortable when you embrace both.
But everyone does in general. They just hide most of the other shit.
But for me as well, this also extends to what I was talking about, being queer as well. And what I like about queer is being able to experiment and to explore different aspects of myself.
But people that I know that classify themselves as queer, they go by camp, and everything is more.
But they're just adjectives. So you're really getting upset about an adjective?
I'm not getting upset. I just don't classify myself as queer. I'm a gay man. That's what I am. If someone called me a queer, I'd look the other way. Like I don't know who they're talking about. They must be talking about the person.
Yeah, no, but I think calling someone a queer is different. Calling someone a queer and just being queer, I think it's two different things as well. If they say you're a queer, then it starts to sound. Yeah, but if you're saying I'm queer, it does sound different. Although I still don't like the word itself, I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I understand what he's saying.
And
that I do agree with.
And I'm embracing part of it. I don't fully know all of what it is to be queer, but for me, what's quite nice, particularly now I have really moved outside of kind of the heteronormative framework, is I can choose. I can not know. I can be curious about. I can investigate. I can like it today and maybe not so much tomorrow. And for me, and I know people really struggle with that because they want you to be one thing that they know. And we know as human beings, we don't like uncertainty. We don't like the unknown. Be this and stay that so I can know exactly what you are.
Yeah, and how to treat you.
Actually, I like a bit of space. Today you see me, I've got this little cute earring on, and then another day, maybe not. I don't have to be one thing.
Very cute.
I think there's just, especially with gay men, there's this massive fix on hypermasculinity. And the battle with that. And so many, I mean, naturally because gay guys, we say we're attracted to men. Well, that is what gay is, to be attracted to men. So then you think about what is a man and people that masculinity, and then they look at the epiphany of masculinity as something to aspire to. And I feel that like I battled with that a lot. Like, you know, like and battling with how masculine to act in different situations, or when to bring out any kind of feminine side. That has definitely been a struggle. To which I've got to the point where I still don't fucking know, but alright then, cool. You know what? I don't know. I think it's hard to go into a situation and just act a certain way, and it's hard to even understand who am I and how can I relate my true self in a situation as well, and that's what I find difficult. And because and because it's just on my mind, I guess I do think about masculinity and femininity and how I'm coming across like that. How gay am I seeming? I don't know, maybe because being young again, like all of this thing is negative, so I don't want to cause conflict or get into conflict because of it as well. So then,
and I love the beauty in not knowing.
That's true.
That's so lovely.
We've always got to look at how we're perceived. We always do. Do you know what I mean? Like I walk into situations, and when I know that this person has never met me before, but I take the bass out my voice. I'm not trying to intimidate you. Let's just have a conversation. Once you get to know me, then I'll talk freely. Do you know what I mean? But like we do that because like people just.
But how is that though? Still being in that space of having to leave a part of yourself out, which includes the bass of your voice, something which is integral to who you are.
It's a choice. It's a choice that I'm prepared to make in order to establish a relationship.
I hear it's a choice, but how is it for you today? I'm curious that it
happens automatically. I don't even think about it. Like I'll walk into a situation and I'll
think about it now.
I'll come off the phone and be like, wow, my voice was really high just then. Do you see what I mean?
To think about it now, how do you feel about it? Do you like that it happens?
I kind of wish I didn't. Do you know what I mean? Because it would be easier. But at the same, like yesterday, I went into an environment and someone actually said to me, this is the initial conversation. Hi, how are you? Hi, I'm good. Sorry, are you a boy or a girl? Why the heck does that even matter? Like, why does it matter? Because really and truly, it's...
And what's your feeling in that moment, though?
What comes up for you?
Sympathy, because you can't have a conversation with me until you know what genitalia I have.
Exactly.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
But that happens a lot with us, especially dating, with the top and the bottom and the verse. That's where I know how you felt, because I felt like that when I was starting to date, especially online. And then the people I had around me would make me feel like I had to act a certain way because are you bottom or you top, and if you've done this and you can't, you have to be like that, you can't act like that. And then when you're with men, they emasculate you and make you but you're bottom, so how can you?
If you're out, you mean you're certain kind of guy as well.
There's so much, and that's how they view you. Like if I go to a club, like we're seeing you, I just have to go out as I am. I dance. I like to have I'm enjoying myself immediately. Like I guarantee you, there'll be DMs in my Instagram or messages on Facebook, and and suddenly I have to have been on bottom because of how I was dancing and how I was dressed. And then if I decide to be like, why would that matter? Well, why are you talking about that? Obviously you want to be fucked because of the way you went out. Yeah. But men can be very wicked, and it's down to the labels.
I was just saying, I just find that as generally, I think that's a problem in the black gay scene anyway. If you don't act masculine, if you don't have the body of a god, or I just find them so materialistic. It's difficult, especially if you're young, feminine, and express yourself in a certain way. It's difficult to fit in.
This is the thing, because the clubs kind of duplicate the heterosexual world. Exactly. You know what I mean? So if you are a little bit feminine, whether you're male or female, cool, you're the submissive. And if you're not a bit dominant, then you know what I mean? It doesn't make
I just think that we do have to remember that is all we know.
But it doesn't.
But we do have to remember that that's what's on the TV.
But that's
what we see and we grow with. Just this heterosexual relationship is what we see. So I just feel like being in the black gay community, I think we're under so much pressure in order to fit in into whatever category that might be. But I remember being younger and being a lot more feminine than I am now. And like running around like with like the t-shirt on my head, thinking I got a long weave and all that.
No one judged you, though.
Exactly, but no one judged me as a kid. But as you grew up, the questions started, is he gay? Is he this? Is he this? And to kind of try and hide it, I kind of forced some kind of masculinity on myself in order to kind of hide under the radar, I suppose. And it was kind of difficult on me to try and understand who I was as a person growing up. Do you know what I'm saying? I wasn't sure whether I was feminine or whether I should act masculine or, do you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I kind of came out and had gay friends who were like myself that allowed me to kind of find who I was, and I'm happy with who I am now. Do you know what I'm saying?
When you say gay friends like yourself, what do you mean by that?
Like other black gay people. Okay. Like growing up, I honestly thought I was the only black gay person on the planet. Like I didn't know there was other black gay people. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't get married to a white guy. I'm not gonna be so upset. Like, you know, like where am I going? Do you know what I mean? Because I always knew that I was attracted to black people and to other black men. But not knowing that there was other black gay men like myself, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm just gonna go find one rock. Because I didn't know what I was gonna do.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is because when you don't understand that aspect of yourself and you feel like something is wrong. Like me, when it happened to me, I didn't really know that I was gay until I started really getting to know myself because of abuse. Because so people will shout things now and again, but I would be so offended by what people were saying because I felt the more embarrassment of it. I didn't even know at that time what gay was, to be frank with you. I never was in that type of world. My mum and dad never sat down and said, this is gay, this is how you should be. Everything was just free, you know.
People are conversation that we have in the black community.
I know, but I never even knew that about myself. People outed me before I even knew what it was. So that's another reason why you probably didn't get to identify who you was, because you never had a chance to really know who you was.
Exactly, I didn't until like I said, until I came out and started exploring the black gay scene. Like if it wasn't for like Black Gay Chat, for example, I never would have known there was other black gay people out there.
And how did you feel after you come out and went and started going on the scene?
I felt like I finally there was finally somewhere I belonged, you know? And then meeting this one 10 years ago,
like through BGC. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like we now have like this circle of friends, and they've allowed me to be myself, and I haven't felt like I've needed to fit in anywhere. You know what I mean?
You find your tribe.
Exactly. Found my tribe, and like I know who I am now as a person, and I know where I belong. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sweet.
No, I hear that because I found that my core friends that I have in our community love me fully, like everything, like flaws and all, like farts and all, everything, right? But I honestly don't feel I have that same bond. I have a different bond because they're with my straight friends because they've known me for 25 years, but I don't feel they know me like my gay friends know me and how they welcome
because
me.
you can connect.
They really welcome
so
me.
I'm gonna call you out because like sometimes we accuse people of not knowing us when the truth is we're hiding ourselves.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So like,
Very
I've kind of had situations with like family and I'm like, you're trying to get to know me, but what was I really about though? Do you know what I mean? So they're gonna make assumptions based on other things.
Yeah.
And if we're not presenting our truth in situations with our friends, be they gay or straight, then they're making an assumption based on what you've shown them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Very true.
No, I can appreciate that because I don't know. Sometimes I feel I put a lot into my relationships with people in general.
Yes.
And there comes a time where I know for me when I first came out, I really needed my straight friends. I really needed them because I didn't have the gay people to talk to.
Yeah.
Do you understand that none of my straight friends would come, and the thing is we'd gone years ago to gay clubs together, but now that I'm saying I am this, I'm begging you, please come with me to a club so I can at least maybe look at some people because I don't necessarily want to go down the online side because it's to know that the only way you can date is online and you've got to meet someone behind this and do all of that, and it's very hard because you don't ultimately know that somebody else is like you when you're walking down the road. It's very hard to meet people, and I just remember begging them, please come with me, somebody come with me, and it didn't happen, so I went down my path and went down these websites and did it that way. But ultimately going down these websites, it could have gone completely the wrong way. It could have been it could have been really negative, and I just feel that when I reached out to them, and I guess I have a different relationship with them now simply because I see you but you don't see me. I've tried to show you me, I've tried to put myself out there, I've included you. Your events I go to, do you come to mine? I invite you. Do you come to anything? And if you're not on that list of those people, I'm not going to hate you for it.
Do you know what it is though? Like as well, like you've got to bear in mind like what you were saying about safe spaces. And there's places where we feel safe as LGBT people because we know that, you know, there's no drama in there. Now for like a straight person to walk into our zone, dude, it's like us walking into their pub as the only gay person and like so
well, you know what? This is my argument. My argument on that one is if I do it for you, you can do it for me.
Yeah.
If you're my peoples and you love me, and you want me to come out for your birthday, and it's a straight club, I'm coming out for your birthday. So on a one-off basis, if you can't do that for me, it's not the same type of love. I'm sorry. If you love me for me, and I will do it for you, if you can't do it for me, it's different.
I do think there's loads that they just don't understand that.
Yeah.
So they don't see that in the slightest that I feel away because I'm at war, or because I'm gay I might feel away going into a straight club. They don't understand that and they don't see that, so they wouldn't put that connection with them going into a gay club. But like my experience with my straight friends in general has been pretty good. I have to give it to them. They will come, they will show out, they will support, and like we've had our issues, but that's with friends in general. So and I definitely agree. It's what you give them, because I do find that like I've talked to my gay friends about so much more stuff, but then I think to myself, does that mean that they know me more, or is it different? They're just different because there are my straight friends that like you said, I've known from when I was growing up, that know me so much differently to how Daniel knows me. But it's not necessarily more or less.
I think they know me now as who I am today, as opposed to who I was when I was in your world. I was in your world with my straight friends. I was in their world. All of those years, running through all of these turmoils, going through me, not knowing, not feeling like I actually fit in. But things that we had done as a group, for instance, a group of us went to a gay club maybe 15 years ago, and we all went to this club. We were cool. Once I came out, not one of those people. So it's not about feeling safe around people. I can't stand when people say, oh yeah, my friend at work's gay. Oh yeah, my colleague. But the moment it comes closer, there's always an excuse. And for me, I would rather just be honest. If you tell me you feel a little bit uncomfortable with something, I ain't gonna force you to do it. If anything, I'm gonna try and talk to you to try and ease that a little piece.
Slight sidebar, but how do you feel about them classifying you as the gay friend?
I am the gay friend.
But what about you? Does that
as being a gay friend?
Yeah.
I don't know. That doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
I don't know if my friends reduced me just to the one aspect of my identity. Just
you got some good friends.
Have I?
Yeah.
Actually, no. I would acknowledge that I do have some good friends. I don't think I'm because the tokenistic gay boy that's coming along to things. No, that's not my personal experience. What's yours?
No, I don't. I mean, it's difficult. I don't really think that I get that much. But then, how much do I even really talk about my sexuality to people that would say that?
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, like my friends, they wouldn't call me the gay friend.
Yeah, me.
But the only time I've ever had that is through people I've known through work.
Yeah.
Work. Yeah. So like me being on the street as a normal person. 9 times out of 10 they'd never assume me to be gay.
Yeah.
But if someone was to ask me, I'll tell them no, I'm gay. So at work they're like, oh, you're my gay friend or whatever. But that's only ever come about through work, not through anyone that I've.
Same with
friends.
My friends don't.
So you know we were talking before about I guess fitting in and how that had been in the past. I guess I'm curious how it is currently for all of us. Like to what extent do we feel like we either fit in with the kind of current scene as it is today in 2017?
See?
Like, where do people feel like they fit or don't fit?
That's a big
You know what?
It is.
It is a big question. Like personally, I don't try to fit in anymore. I think part of the problem was trying to fit in.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So growing up in church, you're trying to do the church thing. You wear skirts and high heels. Don't judge me. And then you end up, like on the scene, and all the other studs are wearing new era hats and banging. So you're like, oh cool, this is how we're supposed to dress. Alright, calm. But then I'm like, actually, who am I? What do I like? What do I dislike? And then try to live in that.
Do you think that comes with age as well?
Yes.
I think it comes with age.
100%.
Definitely comes with age.
100%.
Because I don't. I don't.
I'm such an extrovert anyway. I want to stand out. I'm such an extrovert. I don't care. Like, say what you want to say. You're talking about me.
I'm like that.
See, I'm the complete opposite. I'm quite an introvert. So even when you go out raving, I'm the one in the corner.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but just quite the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm loud.
He's the one.
Yeah, he is.
I'm loud. He's the right one. I'm the loud one.
So even in the scene, I was always known as the tall friend.
The top. You remember that's what people was there? Because you stand and you don't really.
Yeah.
That's what they say. That's what when I first started going clubbing, he would be the stereotypical person that people would put out as being a top.
Yeah.
Because he stands, he moves, he's just looking, he's observing, but he's still having a good time. It's just in his way. People that put it down to just how he's acting, and not maybe that's just because that's his characteristic of just him being, chilled, and he doesn't need to do all that. Me, total opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely am.
What about you?
Where do I fit?
Yeah, where do you fit?
I don't know where I fit. I don't know. it was the time that I started to come out. I wasn't, you know, I came out a little bit late in my life, so I never really found a particular scene or space where, I felt, I don't know, I felt most at home. You know, I mean, yes, I sometimes go to various clubs and stuff like that, but still at the same time, I don't know if it's fully my scene. So I guess I'm still in the process of cultivating a tribe.
Actually, it seems like we're getting there. It's like maybe an understanding that everything just keeps on changing. Like nothing is staying and nothing is fixed. Like I think it even goes back to like the original sexuality is not fixed either. Like or anything that it seems like we've been talking about is fixed. And just getting to that understanding that things may not be fixed and it may change and it will change and that's just gonna be it.
Yeah, Joe, I'm with you with you saying that you came out quite late. Although I used to go to the clubs, that was me trying to put my foot in the water. But I still didn't know how to go to the next step of actually talking to a female or doing any of that. So I kind of reverted back into the straight world. And then again, I came out when I was like 26, 27.
Right.
I came out late.
That is quite late.
I came out late. That was only when I was willing to say, do you know what? This is me, deal with it. And the only person I lost was my dad. And that was one of the hardest things to deal with. Other than that, I gained so much more.
As we always do.
I gained so much more.
It's always the case.
So much more. And, you know, although I said about my straight friends before, they're still there. And that I will always hold.
See, that's the thing with me.
They always
my
there.
straight friends seem more loyal to me than I've had gay friends, to be honest with you. I can count on fingers the gay people that I would call friends.
Oh yeah.
But my straight friends, it's totally opposite.
Why do you think that is then?
Because with my experiences, it's either too, like, I think sex is always at the forefront, and after that is jealousy. So anything that intertwines between that is just, you know, there's so the gay men can be very conniving, you know. Like I think I've been burnt more by majority for me, because I'm being serious. Because I am since when I come out.
Yeah, I know. I get like that as well. I'm just like, but then.
And while we can all have a conniving aspect of our personality, we all have that. But there is something about being a bit more specific.
Yeah, well, I am being specific.
And you have to think about who you attract.
All that does go into play with it, but for me, majority of my gay experience since coming out until now, with gay males, terrible.
Friendship-wise,
it's terrible.
What are the dynamics?
There's not much dynamic. It's like it seems like me, I'm an open person. I'm how I am. But there's always seems to be some sort of ulterior motive, and I find out later. Like I lost someone that I thought I was friends with for going on like 8 years or whatever, and for the whole of that time, my God, when I found out everything at once, it took me months to repair myself just from that one person. And then I started realizing stuff in everyone else. I dropped people, I don't even go clubbing literally anymore. And it's just, I can't trust, I can't have fun.
It's horrible. That's a shame. You should come out with us. Let's show you how we can do it right.
But then when I do go out, it's not like I don't have gay friends. The ones I do have, I do, but I still don't relate. I feel disconnected to in a certain aspect now because I don't go out.
Just look at it like a relationship. Just because somebody in the past has been like that doesn't mean anybody, any person in your future is going to be like that.
Yeah.
And there are some of us that like to go and shake a leg, and I'm quite normal.